guys, I'm Ivan, located here in the city of Sydney, and just walking around, and I happened to notice this shop. This looks rather interesting. What is this? The fortune teller Paris Debono. Hello? Hi, do you do fortune teller readings?
I certainly do. Welcome to the fortune teller shop. Hi everyone, this is Paris Debono of the fortune teller shop. And I have magnificent Ivan, my assistant, here helping me today.
Thank you. And thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you. So I wanted to talk about, of course, Lenormand, because most of the viewers are Lenormand card fans. And I also wanted to showcase some of the books that I've written about fortune telling.
Yes, you're quite a prolific author now. You're the author of 5 books, all on
have
divination.
5 books, that's correct.
So this is Paris's book week at the moment, book hour. This is book 5.
This is book 5, and it is Lenormand Fortune Telling Cards by Paris Debono. So I finally wrote it. This took me 2 years to write.
It's a big one, yeah.
It's a big book. It's actually probably double all my other books. So there's 2 of the other ones, and this one's quite big. So it is a big book. Obviously, Lenormand is historical. It has a big history, a big background.
So it's quite an achievement to write a book about Lenormand, but how does your book, these points and tips, how do they differ from the norm or the tradition?
Well, my way of reading Lenormand is based on tradition. That's first of all, Lenormand is a traditional system, so you have to keep the tradition. But what I found with reading Lenormand for real people is some of the things that we taught in tradition didn't quite work.
Okay.
Like such as some of the combinations of cards. It just didn't translate to a client.
To a modern day sort of setting.
Yeah, modern day, and just some of the combinations didn't quite work. So over the years, I started to develop my own slight variations on things. I mean, I keep it traditional, but I also tweaked it a little bit, and especially the Grand Tableau. Like, I learned Grand Tableau from reading mainly stuff on Facebook, right? Other readers, and at first I didn't quite gel with the Grand Tableau, especially for reading for a client. Reading for my friend or someone I knew was fine, but reading for a client, that was a challenge. So I came up with my own way of specifically reading the Grand Tableau, which is based on tradition, but I streamlined it a lot.
And is that why you got kicked out of these Facebook groups? I'm interested to understand what was so, what were
controversial.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I think when I first joined Lenormand groups on Facebook, I think this was way back. This was like year 2012. Okay. There was a real flowering of Lenormand.
Yeah.
And I think that people were very staunch. Okay. Lenormand started off people online were very staunch. You had to read it a certain way, and it had to be this way. And what used to happen was I would read it the way they were demanding I read it online, and then I would have a real client, and it wouldn't fit, right? Yeah. Yeah. So there I was on Facebook, being told how to read Lenormand, and then I'd use it with a real client, and the client would be like, "No, that's not happening." Yeah. So I found it was like jarring. It was like people online were demanding it's read this way, or you have to read left to right and right, whatever. And it's like, but when I'm with a real client, that wasn't working.
Well, that's where the magic comes, isn't it? That's what makes you, someone who can actually read the cards well, is, sort of interpreting.
Yeah, interpretation is,
You know.
is the main thing, isn't it? 'Cause-
I found that with tarot. You know, even within your group, there's people that'll say, "Oh, it means this and this." It's like, yeah, well, maybe. Sometimes it can, and other time depends.
That's right. And I think in the early stages of Lenormand online, people like saying you're intuitive was a dirty word.
Oh, right.
They just didn't. They just said that Lenormand was not an intuitive system, which I found fascinating because that was the first fortune-telling device system I'd ever come across where people were saying it wasn't intuitive, right?
You've got to be rigid with it to get the response.
Yeah, yeah. And I'd never seen a divination system like that ever before. Like even astrology, you still have to, use your intuition, and even though it's a very strict system as well, even tarot, but you have to use your intuition. And then I was being told in Lenormand, oh, you can't use intuition. It's not intuitive. It's verbal. It's not intuitive. And I was like, okay. And then when I would have a client, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Because it was too robotic. Like I can give you an example. One time I had this woman. She and I write about this in the book actually. She said to me, she wanted to know about her mother and her mother's neighbor.
Okay.
And I said, okay, pull out some cards. And she pulled out the dog and the bear. So traditionally, the dog is friendly, protective. The bear can be mothering, could be a bit smothering, could be a bit overprotective, right? And I said to her, oh, your mother and her neighbor are friends. They're very, very protective of each other. Maybe one's a little bit overbearing, but the dog is showing that there's a strong friendship. And this woman said, no.
No, they're fighting like cats and dogs.
Well, that's what happened. And then I couldn't understand it because I was looking my pairings of what they mean. It wasn't.
Right.
And then she said they actually had a fist fight.
Oh, right.
So her mother and her mother's neighbor had a fist fight in the street. Outside of their house, right? So that would have been a sight to see.
Critical piece of information to know.
Yeah, and then I looked at the cards and I thought, well, of course, a bear and a dog would fight.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, see, Lenormand was teaching me how to read it still. It was like, you can't just stick to the card meanings out of the book. You've got to use your intuition and your symbolism. Because after she said her mother and her neighbor got into a fight, I looked at the cards and I thought, well, of course, because those two animals would fight.
Yeah.
Whereas, so see that typically wouldn't be considered reading Lenormand.
Yeah, that's...
because that wouldn't be in any meaning sheet. That would be overbearing friend or dominant friend, or one person's friendly and the other one's more wild, say. But it was like a dog and a fox are natural enemies. So.
A dog and a bear, wasn't it?
A dog and a bear, sorry.
Dog and a bear, yeah.
Yeah, dog and a bear are natural enemies.
Same as the fox and the snake, right?
Fox and the snake. Well, that was another one that I found. Fox and snake, when I see that combination together, usually it means a legal battle.
Oh, okay.
Because both animals are trying to, win the prize, and they're going to use different methods to get what they want. So they're both sneaky. A snake's sneaky, and so is a fox. So after many years of reading Lenormand, I found out, what was happening was I was getting people that were having legal battles, and they kept getting fox and snake, fox and snake, fox and snake. And I kept thinking, why am I getting this all the time? And then after a while, I started to look at people's readings, and when I saw fox and snake together, I would say, are you having a legal issue? And they'd say, yes. So I started to notice that fox and snake, when it came together, for me, it means a legal battle. Now, that was not something I could read in any meaning sheet that I ever saw.
Okay.
That was just the cards teaching me how to read them over many, many years.
And that is in the book?
That's also in the book, yeah.
And that's not a traditional reading of...
That's not a traditional... And there's other examples of things that I discovered over years of reading the cards and how they, how they are read above and beyond the traditional meanings. So the traditional meanings are still in there. I've even got them in the back, the meanings. But I also add things that I've learned along the way,
Okay.
So yeah, so it's been a very long journey about Lenormand, and it's a great system.
What other card combinations are non-traditional that you find are sort of like repeating patterns?
I find that this could be traditional. Lily and cross could be a funeral.
Okay, all right.
Lily and coffin could be a funeral, but that's probably a common one. Stars and birds means internet, but that's again another common one. Sometimes sun and moon together can mean karmic lesson.
All right.
Because it's an astral lesson, like a universal lesson, yeah. Because the sun and the moon are both heavenly bodies, and when they come together in a card reading, it could mean that person is going to learn a big karmic lesson, and often it's a good lesson. It's like a positive lesson that the world they have to learn, like it's a life lesson usually.
Okay.
So there's that one as well.
Is there a card of completion within Lenormand, like the world? They say the world card in tarot is the completion of the major arcana.
Probably there's cross. Cross is like an end and then a resurrection, and it's the last card in the Lenormand.
It's the last card. Okay.
Yeah. So the cross could be more like an ending or a completion of one
cycle.
One cycle.
See, I always read the cross as a new beginning.
Yeah, a new beginning after an ending. Yeah. See, stars and cross could be star-crossed lovers.
Okay.
So it could be that you're meant to meet this person and learn a big karmic lesson from them, and often it's a difficult lesson. Okay. It's meant to be, though. It's meant to be a lesson that you're meant to learn when it's star and cross. Like you were brought together to learn something, and then it may not last, but it's something that you'll remember.
And what does the moon mean to you? I mean, is that...
The moon, in some traditions, the moon represents your, the way you're perceived by the public, like your reputation.
All right.
Some people see the moon as a work card, which I don't.
Okay.
To me, my work card is if a person works for a company, it's the tower. And if they're self-employed, it's the fox.
All right.
But a lot of people read the moon as a work card, and a lot of people read the moon as your reputation. I read it as your reputation as well, but I also read it a bit similar to tarot. I read it as emotions and intuition, because whenever I've done readings for clients and I start talking about when I get the moon card and I start asking them about their work or their reputation, they're usually blank. They're usually like, no. But as soon as I start saying, oh, you may feel moody, you may feel emotional, sensitive, reflecting on the past, they're like, yes. So over time, I've realized for me, the moon is very similar to the tarot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's things you learn over years of practice.
So the moon in the tarot is similar in meaning to the moon
in Lenormand.
Oh,
for me, it seems to want to be like that. Yeah.
Okay.
I tried doing it the traditional way, but it didn't want to work.
And of course, I imagine that in this book you've got all of these.
Yeah, I've got all of those. I've got my meanings and the reason why.
Okay, so this is like a compendium of Paris's interpretation of Lenormand.
Yeah, it's both. It's
traditional.
What I do actually is I obviously do the tradition, but then I'll talk about how I've experienced it.
Okay.
So I lay down the tradition, because you have to be traditional with this system, right? It's just stupid if you're not. But I also add, this is how it occurs in my readings.
Okay.
Also in this book too, I go into coffee cup readings, because Lenormand comes from coffee grades.
That's interesting. Yeah, I find that quite fascinating. That part of it.
And I talk about that in the book as well, about where it came from and where it originated from, and it goes all the way back to like 1600 and something when the original ones were made, which were the coffee cards.
1600s, yeah, that's quite a way back, isn't
I think it was. I can't remember the exact date, but it was, And I talk about how Lenormand originated, and then it became what's called the Game of Hope, and then eventually it got the name Lenormand. You know, because Madame Lenormand did not design the cards or create them.
Okay.
Her name was just stuck on top,
All right.
just as a marketing, tool.
So she must have been quite a famous, fortune teller.
Yeah, she was quite famous in her time, and then after she died, she became a bit legendary. And then, different companies just used her name. It's a little bit like Zoltar. Zoltar's another one. He's like a character, a fortune-telling character.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Bit like what about Nostradamus?
Yeah, Nostradamus is another one. Yeah, he was a famous seer and astrologer and healer, and then sometimes you'll see tarot of Nostradamus, but he didn't use that deck.
Yeah. What did Nostradamus? Sorry, we're getting a little bit off the topic here. But did Nostradamus use cards, or how was he actually doing his divination?
I think he did astrology mainly, but he also looked into a bowl of water, like a crystal ball type of thing. Hydromancy, and it's scrying. It was called scrying, where you're looking into a reflective surface.
Oh, right.
So I think it was a bowl of water, and it was a bit like a crystal ball or a mirror or a mirror. Yeah.
Oh, right.
And he could see images in the water. He also did geomancy as well. He did geomancy, which
what
is
is
sand.
geomancy?
It's astrology, but it's using sand divination.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's a form of astrology, but instead of using the stars, you're using the earth, soil, or sand.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is a big topic, and I'm sure we can talk about that next time. But getting back to what we were just talking about, can Lenormand be used to do long-term predictions? A bit like, I presume this Madame Lenormand was doing longer-term predictions. I think that's when people become quite famous, is when they make a prediction
prophecies.
about. They're making prophecies, or like Nostradamus, he made a prophecy about a king that would be killed with a spike in his eye. So that's where you hit the big time as a divination expert, right? So can Lenormand be used for that?
I think astrology works better for that, because you can see the timing of the timing of the planets. You can see where the planets are going to be. Lenormand, you can do long-term readings as well. Probably you could use the Grand Tableau for that.
Okay.
So you'll be able to see if something's near someone or far away, or if something's going to happen soon. Like if you're doing a reading about the president, you want to see what's going to happen. You choose the man card as the president, and you'll see whatever you want to ask about him.
Okay. So
him or her.
We're going to use the Lenormand cards now, and Paris is going to do a reading live. So I have a friend who is currently a male friend who's going through a what would you call it, like a legal matter.
Okay.
And he wants to know, will his legal matter have a successful financial resolution?
Okay. All right. So what I'll get you to do is I shuffled the cards. Just choose out any 5 cards.
Okay. So I'm just picking the cards now, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is Paris's.
Let's look at the next 12 months, yeah?
Okay.
Is 12 months good enough, or do you want 6 months?
No, well, 6 months I think should be.
Let's do 6 months. Oh, well, look, there's the man card straight away.
Okay.
So the first card we got is the man. Now, when that happens, so you're asking about a man, and the man card comes up quickly first, that means he's really thinking about this, because he's there, like he's bang. So, ladies and gentlemen, so when you're asking, ladies in particular, if you're asking about a man, if you're asking, is he thinking of you, and the first card is the man, yes. Now, the opposite's true too. If you ask is he thinking of you and he doesn't come up, that's more likely no, because he's not present.
Okay.
But this one is showing that your friend is thinking about this subject very strongly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens next. Moon. Yeah, he's reminiscing. He may be moody.
Bit moody, yeah.
He may be fearful. Like I said before, I read the moon similar to tarot. Fear, reflections, memories, moods. Can't see clearly.
Secrets?
Can be secrets, yeah. Can be uncertainty. He might have moods himself. Maybe sometimes he's very clear-minded and other times he's feeling very lost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds
could be
like
emotional. Often the moon as well, for me, represents thinking of the past, memories.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is to do with the past, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And then we've got the road. So he's got a decision to make.
Okay.
He's very emotional. See, we've got the duality of the moon and now we've got the duality of the road.
Okay.
So we've got two cards of duality here. So when I do a reading, I'm looking at similarities and differences between the cards as well. So first thing I notice is this is like, you know, phases of the moon, and this is direction. So he feels very split, you know.
Yeah.
I think sometimes he feels very clear emotionally, I'm going to do this. Then other times, oh no, I'm not going to do that. Okay. Let's see what else. Snake, yeah, snake. Snake usually means entanglements, toxic behavior, something's, poisonous, and then we've got the child. Now, child could be read a few different ways. It could be read something small. He's hoping for a new beginning. There may be children involved in the situation. Perhaps a child's involved. Does he have a child that's
Yeah.
Oh, he does? Yeah.
He has children.
Yeah, see, this could double up as a woman, a snake. So he's having difficulties deciding what to do with a woman, and perhaps a child is involved in that. But if we could also read the child as he's wanting a new beginning, something fresh. So what was the question again?
Will there be a positive financial outcome? So I'm not seeing anything about finances.
It's not really
at all.
showing anything about finances
Yeah.
here. It's
mean, it
showing that he's going to have to go through some sort of
There's a
process, journey.
Yeah.
It looks more like he's going to somehow start a new phase, but it's not really showing exactly what. Let's take out one more
Yeah.
just to see what we get
Getting the
after that.
financial outcome.
Fox, yeah, he has to be. See how I said before, fox and snake
Yeah.
means a nasty legal battle. See,
Okay.
see, that's what it does to me. That's what it does, people. See, don't argue with me. It just does it.
Okay.
It will.
Right.
What happens is typically when someone asks about legal problems, I always get fox and snake together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So what would the child represent in a legal setting? Would that be like a new idea or some sort of inspiration or giving birth to a new something else?
it could be saying that he's wanting a new chapter. He wants something to start, like a new beginning. He may want to get away from all of this moodiness. He has to be smart. Fox can be smart. But it's sort of, because the question was, will finances improve? It's almost like saying he just has to continue being smart and on the ball with the situation. Things may lighten up a little bit with the child card, but he starts off quite moody and indecisive and then tangled.
There's a lot of burdens there, isn't
Burdens,
there? I can
yeah.
see all of the burdens.
The good cards is the child, because it's like he wants a new beginning, but then the fox is saying, but he has to battle on still. So I would say with him, he still has to keep battling on.
Yeah. To keep
And
fighting.
I think that because the fox and the snake have come up, it means it's not going to be easy. I think if he's waiting for some financial situation, I'm not seeing that yet.
Yeah.
Not in the next 6 months, because that's what
Okay.
we said, 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty, so there you go. So that was good because it proved my point about the snake and the fox. and if we asked a question about people fighting, I would get the dog and the bear. I can guarantee it.
Okay.
I could guarantee a 5-card spread would be dog and bear would pop up straight away about if someone was fighting or about to fight. Okay.
Right, so now